equations or machine learning algorithms and the any data, we need to have data in the form of structured or organized manner. So to perform such kind of analytics, we need few essential libraries. So in the today's class, we will discuss one very important essential library for machine learning. So this is the thing which we discussed in the previous sessions. So this entire stuff we already discussed it. Yeah, good. Remaining guys, can you please keep your microphone in mute mode so that I won't get any disturbance from you guys. So here, today's module name is NumPy. Yeah, sorry guys. So I think till now you did not got my voice. So here now you are getting my voice. I think. Sorry for that. Okay. Done. So here we have a lot of models. So for to perform data analytics, we have a few essential models. Out of all those essential models, this NumPy is a very important model. So here it is used to perform any numerical computations in the any data set. If you want to apply any machine learning algorithm, we need to use this NumPy module. So here before this thing, we need to check whether this module is existed in your laptop or not. For that purpose, here we are checking this condition. So this command. So here I'm entering import NumPy as NP. So after executing this portion, if it returns module not found error, we need to install this module by using this command. So if you are using Anaconda, so here it is a command for Anaconda. So you need to open Anaconda prompt. In the Anaconda prompt, you need to enter this command. Whereas if you are using Python ideally only, if you want to do the entire machine learning by using Python ideally, we need to proceed with this thing. So here we need to enter command as pip3 install library or package name. So here we need to install NumPy. For the purpose, here I'm saying NumPy. So here these are the commands to install NumPy module. So here initially I will compare NumPy as well as list. So for that purpose, to make you clear this thing, here I will take two examples. One is corresponding to list, another one corresponding to this NumPy data structure. So here initially to explain you the memory consumption of both the things, here I'm taking help of system module. So here I'm taking help of system module. So after taking this thing, here I want to define the list, or I want to create a list with the elements from 0 to 999. With the 1000 elements, I want to create one list. For that purpose, here I'm applying list typecasting function. And in this thing, here I'm using range function. Here I'm using range function. In this range function, I am specifying 1000. So here in this range function, if you specify only one attribute, so starting index will be considered as 0. That means it will start with 0, and here it ends with 1,000. That is 1000, and it is excluded value. So here excluded means we are printing the values from 0 to 999. So here with this 1000 elements, I am creating one list. After this thing, I want to create NumPy array. To create NumPy array, here I'm one more variable. This variable I'm saying np dot arrange of. So here in the numpy array we have arrange function. We will discuss that thing within few minutes. So here I'm creating one numpy array also. So here initially we created the list with the 1000 elements, and here I'm creating one array with the 1000 elements. So here it is a numpy array with the 1000 elements. Same thing. So here also same thing, and here also same thing. So after this thing, I want to check size of both the variables. So here I want to know the size of list first. So for that purpose, here I am using system module to know the size of any variable or any attribute. We need to use system module. So here in the system module we have get size of function. So here in the system module we have get size of function. I'm using get size of function. So here in this get size of function, here I want to know the size of one integer number. So randomly here I pick 5. So here in this range, that means from the 0 to 999, I'm choosing one random integer. So as you already aware of this thing, so all the integers consume same amount of memory. For that purpose only, here I took one random integer. So here I am observing the size of one integer number. After this, I want to multiply this thing with the entire list size. So here to know the entire size of the list, here I'm using length function. So here I'm saying this thing. After this thing, same thing I want to perform for numpy array also. So if you want to perform same thing for numpy array, so here to know the single element size, here we have item size function. So here item size is a function which is used to know the entire one element size. Item size is nothing but it returns single element size. So after knowing the single element size, we need to multiply the single element size with the entire array size. So to know the entire array size, we need to use size attribute. So we will discuss this stuff within few minutes. Don't worry about that thing. So before that, so to make it clear what is the difference between this list as well as numpy, I took this example. So here I'm taking this example. So I'm running this portion. So whenever you run this portion, here you can clearly observe. So whenever you create a list with the 1000 elements, it will take 28,000 bytes of memory. It is taking 28,000 bytes of memory. Whereas if you create same array with the numpy, so here again I'm creating array with the 1000 elements only. It is taking 4,000 bytes of memory. That means compared to list, this numpy arrays take very less amount of memory. It will take very less amount of memory. That means so if it is taking less memory means it is faster than list. So here these are the differences between list as well as numpy array. So here numpy arrays are faster than list and it will consume less memory compared to list. So that is the difference between both things. And now we will see how how to create a numpy array. So we will start with scratch onwards, very basics onwards. We will start this thing. So here to create any numpy array, we need to use array function which is present in this numpy module. So here we imported this module with this alias name, that is np. Whenever you want to create an array, we need to use this alias name only. So here whenever you want to create an array, we need to use array function which is present in this numpy module. So in this function we need to specify the values. So in the array, whatever the values you want to specify, you can specify those things. So in this thing here, I want to create a two-dimensional array. So for that purpose, here I'm taking nested list concept. So here I'm taking 1 comma 2 comma 3. After this thing I'm separating. So in this thing I am taking nested list. So here I'm taking elements as 4 comma 5 comma 6. After this thing I want to take one more row. After this thing I want to take one more row. In this row here I'm giving elements as 7 comma 8 comma 9. So after this thing I want to print what is present in this array. So here I'm checking. So here I want to print a. So whenever you print a, so here it is a numpy array which is created with this elements. And so here it is a basic way to create a numpy array. So here in this we have lot of attributes to know the different parameters of this array. So out of all these parameters, first attribute is shape function. So here in this first attribute is shape function. So here shape is a function which is used to know the number of rows as well as columns present in an array. So here I'm applying the shape attribute. So here it is an attribute, it is not a function. So here whenever you apply shape attribute on date, so it will return 3 comma 3. So here in this first 3 is nothing but, so here first 3 returns number of rows. So first element returns number of rows present in defined array. After this thing, we have one more element, that is another 3, that is nothing but number of columns present on an array. So if you observe this example here, in this array we have 3 rows as well as 3 columns. So that is defined by shape attribute. Whenever you apply shape attribute on the array, it will return the dimensionality of an array. So it simply we can say it will return number of rows as well as columns present in an array with the comma separation. So after this thing, we have ndim function. To know the number of dimensions present in an array, we have ndim function. So in this thing itself, here I'm applying ndim attribute. Ndim stands for number of dimensions. So here I'm applying this thing on this created array that is stored in A. So in this thing, I am applying ndim. Ndim stands for number of dimensions. Whenever you apply this thing, it will return the number of dimensions present in an array. So if you apply this matrix here, we have x-axis as well as y-axis only. So here to understand the dimensionality clearly, so remember the simple logic. So how many brackets you use it to define this list, that is considered as dimension. So here in this thing, I use it only one nested list. That means here I use it two different kinds of list. That's why it give dimensionality as 2. So here dimensionality is a function which is used to know the number of dimensions present in any array. After this thing, we have size attribute. So here, as we already saw this thing while explaining this difference between list and numpy array itself. So here size is the attribute which is used to know the number of elements present in an array. To know the number of elements present in an array, we need to use this size attribute. So here whenever you apply the size attribute on it, it will return 9. So if you observe number of elements present in it, here we have only 9 elements. That's why size attribute returns number of values present in it. So here if you want to create any list into numpy array, we have numpy array typecasting function only. So initially I want to define one list. So here I want to define one nested list. In this nested list, initially I'm specifying 1 comma 2. So after this thing, here I'm taking one more list, that is, so in this thing I am specifying 3 comma 4. After this thing, I want to convert this thing in the form of numpy array. So for that purpose, here I'm saying np dot array of, I want to convert this thing in the form of array. So I want to convert this list in the form of array. So whenever you observe the output of this thing, this list will be converted in the form of array. To convert any list in the form of numpy array, so here it is the very basic way. So here after this thing, we have d type function. So here in this array function itself, so previously, so we used array function, right? So here it is the array function. Whereas in this array function, we have one more attribute that is called as d type. So here in this in this numpy array, if you want to specify the desired data type, you can specify the data type also. So here by default, we will get the integer 32-bit representation. Whereas if you want to keep the any kind of representation, you can keep here. So here I want to represent this entire array with the floating point values. So here whenever you run this portion, it will return entire array values in the form of floating point. So if you don't specify the data type, it will consider default data type, that is integer data type. So here in the array function, we have one more attribute that is called as d type. So by default, the data type is integer for this array function. So here by default data type is integer data type only. So here I'm specifying the integer 32-bit extension. So whenever you execute this portion, it will return this thing. So after this thing, here we have few more attributes. Those are, so we already saw shape attribute as well as size attribute as well as ndim attribute. So after this thing, we have n bytes attribute. So here I want to know the number of bytes consumed by this array. So to know the number of bytes consumed by this array, we need to apply this n bytes attribute. So whenever you apply this attribute, it will return 36. That means this array taking, sorry, a means the previous array which is taking 36 bytes of memory. So if you observe, so in this array we have 9 elements. So here integer, one integer takes 4 bytes of memory. That's why 9 4s are 36. This entire array taking 36 bytes of memory. So that is the purpose of n bytes function. So here after this thing, if you want to know the data type, we have d type function. So here d type attribute, sorry, it is not a function, it is also an attribute. So whenever you check the data type, so here it is returning integer 32-bit data type. So here I am removing this portion. Here I want to remove this data type function. sorry, data type field. So after removing this thing, I am executing this portion. After this thing, I want to check the data type of this thing. So whenever you check the data type, so again it will return integer 32-bit only. Why? Because by default user defined, sorry, by default data type is integer 32-bit extension only for this array. So here next we will discuss the functions corresponding to this thing. So till now we created the array by using basic approach. Whereas I want to create an array by using dynamic approaches. So here initially we will see the one example. Here I'm creating one array with a B. So in this array here I'm saying here I want to create an array by using range function. So here we can create an array by using range function also. So here in this thing I am specifying the range. I want to create an array with the 10 elements. So which is starting from 0 to 10. So for that purpose in this range function I am specifying 10. With the 10 elements I want to create a list. So after this thing I want to specify the data type also. In this thing I am using d type field also. So here I am specifying the data type. So I want to represent all these numbers in the form of floating point representation. For that purpose here I specified float. So here I define one thing and I want to observe the output of this thing. So whenever you observe what is present in B, it will return an array which is created with all the elements, and it will return output in the form of only one axis. That is nothing but it is a one-dimensional array only. So to convert this one-dimensional array into form of desired dimensions. So here to convert this array in the form of desired dimensions. So let us assume, so in this thing here I'm specifying 1 comma 10. So with this thing I'm creating array and I'm observing output. So I want to change the dimensionality of this created array. To change the dimensionality of any created array, we need to use reshape attribute. In this thing itself, we have reshape attribute. So by using this reshape attribute, we can specify the any dimensionality. So by using reshape attribute, I want to reshape this array. So in this array, if you observe, we have 9 elements. I want to reshape this array with the 3 cross 3 size. So here it is a 1 cross 9 array. I want to convert this 1 cross 9 array into in the form of 3 cross 3. So for that purpose, here I'm saying 3 cross 3. Whenever you apply 3 cross 3 on it, so here this array will be converted in the form of 3 cross 3. So here, if you want to change the rows and columns of an any matrix, we need to use reshape function. So in the reshape function, we need to specify the desired dimension. So whenever you apply this thing, so there one condition should be satisfied. That is, so whatever the type, so whatever the conversion you are applying, on that thing as well as the defined array, you need to have same amount of elements. So here in this example 3 cross 3, which is nothing but 3 into 3 9 elements, whereas coming to this example 1 into, so here we are taking the elements till 9 only. Here also we have 9 elements, 9 equals to 9. In this case this condition satisfied. So after this thing, we can create this numpy array by using one more way also. So here in this thing itself we have one more thing. Yeah, so in this thing we have 9 elements, right? So here I want to create, so here I'm taking different thing. Yeah, I want to create an array with the 10 elements. So here array will be created, and after this thing I want to reshape this thing. So how to reshape this thing? I want to, so here we have 10 elements. Yeah, 10 elements, right? So here I want to take 12 elements in it. So for that purpose here I'm saying 12. So after saying this 12, I want to create 2 cross 3 arrays. So here I want to create 2 cross 3 array, whereas I want to create these 2 cross 3 arrays 2 times. So here I want to create 2 cross 2 arrays. So in this reshape function, if you specify 3 attributes, so here 2 arrays will be created. So yeah, so if you want to specify this thing, here you need to specify this thing in the form of this bracket. So which kind of error it is giving? Cannot reshape array of size 10 into, so here 2 comma 2 comma 3. So that means see here we define the array with the 10 elements only. So after this thing I'm doing this. So here if you observe this example, here we created 2 arrays. So here in this example we created 2 arrays. So here it is the first array with the size 2 cross 3, and it is the second array with the size 2 cross 3. So here in this reshape attribute, if you specify 3 parameters, so first attribute will be considered as number of arrays. So first attribute will be considered as number of arrays. So after this attribute we have two more fields, that is dimensionality of an array. So next two fields will be dimensionality of an array. So here it is a syntax of this reshape function. So someone making nonsense in between, so please don't do such kind of things. So if you're not interested, you don't listen the session. So here I'm creating one array. Oh, sorry, I'm reshaping the created array. So after this thing, if you want to create an array by using dynamic way, it is not a standard way. So here initially we are taking few elements by using range function. After that we are converting that thing in the form of numpy array. Whereas if you want to convert this thing, if you want to create a numpy array dynamically, so for that purpose we have arrange function. Here we have arrange function. By using arrange function, I want to create a numpy array. So here I am saying np dot arrange of. So here I am using arrange function. In this arrange function here, I am specifying the attributes. I want to create an array with the elements in the range of 1 comma 17. So here syntax of this arrange function is similar to this range function only. So here also we have attributes. So first attribute will be starting value, and second index will be ending value, and next value will be step size. So please keep your microphones in mute mode. Someone making nonsense. Yeah, who is that? Someone speaking loudly. Yeah, someone making nonsense. Yeah, who is the star? Someone log it with the device name star. Please keep your microphones in mute mode. Yeah. So here we are creating one numpy array by using arrange function. So here it is the standard way to create any numpy array. So here I'm creating one numpy array with the elements in the range of 1 to 17. That means with the 16 elements, I am creating numpy array. After this thing, I am observing the size of this thing, and I want to reshape this thing in the form of 4 cross 4 size. So here I'm saying reshape of 4 comma 4. In this reshape function, here I'm saying 4 comma 4. And I'm executing this portion. Whenever you execute this portion, it will be converted in the form of, it will be reshaped in the form of 4 cross 4 size. Whereas you can do same thing by using reshape function, sorry, resize function also. So resize function syntax also same thing. Whereas, so difference between this thing and resize function will be, we will see now itself. So if you observe C output, it will return the original array only. So after this thing here, I'm applying resize function on it. Yeah, so I'm doing same thing in this resize function also. Here I'm specifying 4 comma 4 only, and I'm running this portion, and I'm observing what is there in C. So whenever you observe the output present in the C, it will be modified permanently. So here whenever you apply the reshape function, it will modify the content of the numpy array temporarily. So if you want to modify any array content permanently, we need to use this resize function. In this resize function, if you specify the two attributes, so that will be considered as number of rows as well as column. Whereas if you specify three attributes in this resize function, here also same thing. First attribute will be considered as number of arrays, and next two attributes will be considered as rows and columns, as well as so we can say that thing as a dimensionality of an array. So here arrange is a function which is used to create an array dynamically. So after this thing, we have linspace function. Whereas so here we have one more way also to reshape this array. So here we can do this entire thing in single step also. So here if you want to reshape that array, whenever you create, we can apply that thing here itself. So here I am saying reshape of 4 comma 4, and after this thing here I am observing the output. So here I want to observe the output which is present in C. So if you want to perform this entire thing in the single step also, you can do that thing. So after this arrange function, we have linspace function also. Like this arrange function, we have linspace function also. So we will see the syntax of this linspace function initially. So here in this linspace function, initially we need to specify the starting value. So here we need to specify the starting value, and after the starting value we need to specify the ending value. Next we need to specify the ending value. After ending value, we need to specify the number of intervals. So here we need to specify the number of intervals. So here it is the syntax of linspace function. It is similar to this arrange function as well as range function only. Whereas we are using this linspace function mostly plotting the graphs. To plot the continuous plots, we need to consider lot of points. To consider lot of points, here we need to specify the in between the starting value to ending value, how many values you want to consider. So we need to specify that thing. So to make it clear this thing, here I will take one simple example. So here I'm saying np dot linspace of, I want to check. So I want to print the numbers in the range of 1 to 10 with the 10 steps. So here, So in between this 1 to 10, I want to keep 10 intervals. I want to divide this entire range, the entire this real number line with the 10 steps. So here I am running this portion. Whenever you run this portion, it will create an array with the 1 to 10. So here I'm dividing this 1 to 10 in the range of this many elements. So here in this thing, here I kept 10 equidistance values. I'm dividing this range with 10 steps. That is nothing but 10 intervals. So here we have 10 intervals in between these values. So to make it clear this thing, here I'm specifying 100. So I want to divide this 1 to 10 elements with the 100 intervals. So here it will be created with equidistance values. So here within the range of 1 to 100, we are considering 100 equidistant samples. So here these are the values. So this is a way to apply linspace function. So these are the ways to create any numpy array dynamically. So after this thing, in this arrays, we can consider any kind of data. In this numpy arrays, we can take any kind of data. So here, so like that, we have lot of functions. We will discuss those lot of functions in the next session. So with this, I am concluding this session. So next session will be tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. So tomorrow morning, I will take exactly 1 hour class. So be ready for that class. Thank you. With this, I am concluding for today.